trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We start with the weather. As you can see with this look outside with our sky cam, it is an absolutely gorgeous September day out there. Chelsea is in the Weather Center with much more in our first forecast. Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, Doreen. Yeah, it's a beautiful day across southern New England to close out our work week. We started the week so dreary with some heavy rain on Monday and Tuesday, and then we've really closed it out with some beautiful conditions. You're seeing perfect blue sky here in southern New England. Temps are in the upper 60s, so we are on the cool side of things once again today. Breeze out of the northwest keeps us dry outside as we head through the afternoon. Most of us sitting in the mid to upper 60s range, but we do still have plenty of sunlight ahead of us through the afternoon hours. Sun doesn't set until close to 7 o'clock, so we'll warm up just a few more degrees into the early to mid-afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, just a few passing fair weather clouds possible as we head through the later part of the day today, but overall in that hour-by-hour forecast, you can see we make it into the low to mid-70s, average high 75 degrees, so we're right around there. We do have another clear and chilly night ahead of us, back down to the upper 40s and low 50s by tomorrow morning. I'll let you know when we warm up again, coming up in just a few minutes. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. In developing news, the dozens of migrants who were dropped off on Martha's Vineyard Wednesday are now on Cape Cod. Governor Baker's office relocating them to a shelter at Joint Base Cape Cod. There, MEMA will make sure they have access to food, shelter, and essential services. Baker is also activating the National Guard as part of this relief effort. And this is all part of a bigger immigration battle that's going on. And President Biden is slamming the Republican governors of Florida, Texas, and Arizona, accusing them of playing politics with human beings. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
President Biden going head-to-head with some Republican governors, accusing them of using desperate migrants as political pawns.
Republicans are playing politics with human beings, using them as props. What they're doing is simply wrong.
Conservative governors sending more migrants from border communities to Democratic-led cities just 2 months before the midterm elections. In Washington, D.C. Thursday, a busload of migrants dropped off outside the vice president's house. They were sent there by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, and some saying they were given false promises of what they'd receive.
They said that they were taking us somewhere where there is refuge, a lot of help.
They were extremely confused. This is a very residential area.
On the wealthy island of Martha's Vineyard, 2 private chartered jets from San Antonio making a surprise landing, sent by Florida's Republican governor and potential 2024 contender Ron DeSantis.
The minute even a small fraction of what those border towns deal with every day is brought to their front door, they all of a sudden go berserk.
The immigrants that arrived here were not met with chaos. They've been met with compassion.
Since May, New York City receiving nearly 12,000 migrants.
We need help. We have not been ashamed to say that. We need help.
The Republican state leaders say their intent is to send a harsh message to the Biden administration about what they call a broken immigration system. President Biden challenging Republicans to instead help draft a bipartisan solution.
It's long overdue for Senate Republicans to come to the table and provide a pathway for citizenship for dreamers, those on temporary status, farm workers, and essential workers.
There has been a surge in border crossings, a record 1.8 million apprehensions since October, with about half of those migrants being immediately expelled, the other half undergoing normal immigration processing. The White House acknowledging the system is flawed, but saying it will take time to fix it. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
There's a mess in Boston's Chinatown today as a water main break early this morning flooded the streets. The sidewalks buckled, debris littered the roads. This was right near Tufts Medical Center, although they say it had no impact on its facility. And now to one of our top stories today. Dozens of outraged residents and state leaders attending a public hearing this morning put on by the Public Utilities Commission. All of them urging the commission to reject a proposal by Rhode Island Energy to substantially raise people's winter heating bills. ABC6 News reporter Yanni Trigelis is live for us in Warwick, where that meeting wrapped up just a short time ago. Yanni?
Yeah, Doreen, the people in attendance at this meeting today really worried about how they're going to be able to afford to pay their bills this winter. Now, if the Public Utility Commission approves these rate hikes, people's bills would go up about 7 cents per kilowatt this winter, meaning that the average Rhode Islander would pay about $50 more monthly for their electric bill and about $200 more annually for their gas bill.
Very disheartening to keep a positive quality of life when there's an exorbitant energy bill hovering that needs to be paid.
Residents speaking out Friday against Rhode Island Energy's proposed winter heating bill rate hikes. That include a $50 monthly increase to last resort electric service users and a more than $200 annual hike in gas bills.
We're going to make an effort to use some of our surplus dollars to help alleviate that.
In the crowd Friday morning included Governor Dan McKee, who, while speaking, called on the commission to reject Rhode Island Energy's proposed hikes.
We are in an economic recovery that is quicker than anywhere in the Northeast, second in the country. What's going to stall that is going to be these type of expenses.
Last month, the governor granted nearly $4 million in funding for more than 39,000 low-income Rhode Islanders to help them with their electricity bills this winter. But residents say that's not enough.
Already behind in their electric bill that absorbed a lot of their money, and to take on a rate increase at this point could be very devastating to us.
More than 50 people filled the Public Utility Commission's hearing room, with another 2+ dozen dialing in over Zoom, each of them speaking to the impacts these increased costs will have on them and their community.
Will result in increased homelessness and in people dying.
Others turning directly to Rhode Island Energy representatives in attendance.
Your very existence as a company limits access to electricity, to gas.
Rhode Island Energy crediting global conflicts, a higher demand for natural gas, and other reasons out of their control for these hikes. But state leaders in attendance disagree. Governor McKee saying these costs started their upward climb prior to Russia's invasion of Ukraine earlier this year. And after energy representatives said they could have raised prices even higher, District 10 State Rep Scott Slater responded.
Don't come back, please, to us later and say you did us a favor by getting a 30% increase rather than a 46% increase. Please.
An evidentiary hearing is set for 1:00 p.m. for these electric bill hikes, and another meeting will happen later in October to discuss the gas bills. Now, the electric bills would go into effect on October 1st if approved. The gas bills hikes would go into effect November 1st if those are approved. We're live in Warwick. Yanni Trigelis, ABC6 News.
Johnny, thank you. Now an ABC6 update in Providence, where police are still searching for the suspect responsible for a shooting in the Olneyville section of the city Thursday afternoon. Police responding just before 5 o'clock to the Providence Health Center on Atwood Street. There they found a 22-year-old man who was shot, grazed in the head. He was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, but we're told he was conscious and alert. Police believe the shooting was targeted. They say the shooter ran away on foot. Police in Cranston investigating a serious crash involving 3 vehicles. It happened at the busy intersection of Reservoir Avenue and Woodbridge Road, right in front of the McDonald's there. So you can see all 3 vehicles have extreme damage. The bed of the pickup truck even ripped off. Cranston police say 4 people were injured. All of them have non-life-threatening injuries. Well, starting today, changes are coming to the Viaduct Bridge on 95 in Providence. That's the area right behind Providence Place Mall. The high-speed lane of 95 North will move onto the bridge by using a lane split. That split will start just after exit 22 near downtown. The DOT says drivers shouldn't slow down or suddenly change lanes at the split, and both sides of the split will continue on to 95. The other lanes are expected to shift under the bridge 2 weeks later. And Rhode Island is getting money from the Biden administration for rehab work on the Newport Pell Bridge. The state is getting $82 million for the project, which includes reconstruction of the bridge deck, the west approach spans, and the installation of a dehumidification system. The project is one of 26 across the country getting funding from the president's infrastructure law. And now we'll look at our schools. Students are back in class today at Winters Elementary School in Pawtucket. The school was closed for the past 3 days after a construction accident caused a power outage. Students had only been in school for a week after a failed safety inspection caused the school to delay its opening. And esports in Rhode Island high schools are getting a revamp ahead of the 2022 season. The Rhode Island Interscholastic League has partnered with the North American Esports Federation to create a new league structure and new championships in a larger range of games. The Interscholastic League wants to create ways for students to continue their esports careers beyond high school. Well, still to come here on ABC6 News at noon, remembering the Queen. People waiting in line for hours in London for a chance to pay their final respects. The latest scenes near Buckingham Palace. And later, closing up shop, the popular retail store in Seekonk that's going out of business. Remembering the Queen. King Charles III is back out in public after staying behind closed doors yesterday to conduct state business. He and Queen Consort Camilla traveling to Wales as part of their tour of the United Kingdom. ABC's Faith Abube is in London with the latest.
The line to see Queen Elizabeth lying in state still growing as the national period of mourning for Britain's longest reigning monarch winds down. Overnight, the queue stretching up to 5 miles through central London, the longest since the doors to Westminster Hall opened to well-wishers Wednesday to pay their final respects. The wait at times estimated to be 14 hours from the start of the queue to the entry into the hall, where guards are holding vigil around the flag-draped coffin. Officials preventing new mourners from joining the line for several hours to control the wait.
We've been about 4 hours now in the queue, but it doesn't feel like that. It's been amazing.
How many hours in?
We're now coming up to 4 3/4.
Some joining the line anyway, despite officials announcing it was temporarily closed. Many in the line telling us they don't mind waiting. They're here to witness history.
Oh, it's very overwhelming to see it all and to feel part of it and to know that you've been part of this day.
It was just worth it. My feet are really hurting. My back is killing me. But you know what? I'd do it again. I would do it again.
In Wales, the main cathedral in Cardiff receiving the new king and queen consort for a prayer service. The trip to Wales, part of the new monarch's tour of the United Kingdom. The Welsh showing love to a king who served as the longest Prince of Wales before his mother's death. And after that walkabout to see the crowd, King Charles met with political leaders at Cardiff Castle. He's now back here in London, where he and his siblings will hold a vigil for Queen Elizabeth tonight. In London, Faith Abube, ABC News.
And still to come on ABC6 News at noon, Bed Bath & Beyond closing up shop in Seekonk, a trend it's part of nationwide. And Chelsea has a look at your full 7-day forecast, the final weekend of summer, right after this. Taking a look at some consumer news, Bed Bath & Beyond is closing its Seekonk store. It's one of 3 locations in Massachusetts to shut down, according to the retailer's website. The others are Dorchester and Milford. The store is closing 150 locations in all. No word yet on when it will stop operations in Seekonk. None of the other stores in our area are on the list.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
Well, today is almost a carbon copy of yesterday, except we started the day a lot cooler. It's a little bit less windy outside today compared to the breeze that we felt yesterday, but perfect sunshine. Temperatures in the upper 60s right now, very similar to where they were yesterday at this time, and dew points remain very low. So we're talking about a very much fall feel to the air outside this afternoon. The average high is 75 degrees. We didn't make it there yesterday. We ended up just shy, topping out at 72 at TF Green. Today we may be at 73, 74, so a couple of degrees warmer than yesterday, still hovering right around that average high for this time of year. Sunset this evening at 6:53 p.m. Now our average low for this time of year is still in the mid to upper 50s. This morning, almost all of us were down to the 40s, so it was a chilly start to the day. And it looks like tonight we're going to dip back down into the upper 40s and low 50s range, so below average mornings, especially thanks to the clear conditions and this breeze from the northwest. Now again, yesterday we had wind gusts coming in over 20 miles per hour. It's not the case today. Breeze is coming in from the northwest around 5 to up to 15 miles per hour at times, but much lighter than yesterday afternoon. Still a cool, dry wind direction. All of us with dew points in the low 40s range, so a huge drop from the humidity we were feeling very recently. I mean, even early this week, we had dew points in the upper 60s and low 70s, so a big drop in our humidity feeling outside as we head through the day today, through tonight, through tomorrow, into Sunday, Monday, the early part of next week. You're going to notice that muggy factor going up a bit. We're not getting to the uncomfortable level of things, even the humid levels of things, but you'll notice that there's a different feel to the air for Sunday and Monday. Slightly warmer as well, highs back into the low 80s. Satellite radar image shows you dry conditions outside today. Lots of sunshine, just a few of those passing fair weather clouds, but overall, big high pressure system remains in control for today, for tonight, for tomorrow, and for much of Sunday. In fact, we can zoom through the futurecast because there's not much to talk about. You'll continue to see sunshine, temperatures in the low to mid 70s today. Overnight is clear, temps in the upper 40s, low 50s, and tomorrow's kind of a repeat of today with sunshine and temps in the low to mid 70s. Now there will start to be a little bit of a breeze shift tomorrow late and overnight and into Sunday, coming in more from the south-southwest. So on Sunday, we end up with sunshine for much of the day. Some clouds roll in late in the day with an overnight shower possible, but it's warmer and slightly more muggy out there. Quick update on Fiona, still a tropical storm. Just got an update at 11 a.m. from the National Hurricane Center. Still moving west at 14 miles per hour to the northern Leeward Islands, passing just to the south of Puerto Rico, making that track over the Dominican Republic. And with that latest update at 11 a.m., we do see Fiona becoming a Category 1 hurricane towards the middle of next week as it continues to make that track north and northwest. One we will be talking about and tracking through the weekend and into next week as we continue to track that northwesterly passage. Temperatures in the mid 70s outside today, seasonable. Tonight will be mainly clear and cool. We dip down to the low 50s by tomorrow morning. There will be spots outside of the city down into the 40s again, especially for our inland spots. So be prepared for another chilly start to the day tomorrow. Tomorrow we turn things around once again, very similar to today, with sunshine and temperatures in the low to mid 70s. On Sunday, we'll be into the low 80s range, so we warm up quite a bit. It's our final summer weekend. You can see fall begins on Thursday of next week, but temperatures next week stay a little bit warmer in that mid to upper 70s range, even on the first day of autumn, 80 degrees. So not too bad. A few cool days today and tomorrow, but seasonable. You know, we're not talking about really cold temperatures. Felt nice this morning.
Yeah, we'll have that sunshine too, which always helps.
It always does.
Yeah. All right, Chelsea, thank you. Well, coming up, Rhode Island's own Viola Davis back on the big screen, expected to rule the box office. Taking a look at entertainment news.
It literally is, for me, the movie that's defined my career.
Central Falls' own Viola Davis and The Woman King expected to rule the box office this weekend. The film is loosely based on history. Davis stars as a fierce warrior, part of an all-female African army, and she says it is like nothing ever made before.
We're at the center of the narrative, you know, black women, dark-skinned black women, crinkly hair black women. You know, there is no white savior.
The Woman King is out this weekend, only in theaters. And still to come here at noon, Michael Jordan making sports history again, this time with just his jersey. We're going to check back in with Chelsea, too, for more on that afternoon forecast. Stay with us. Well, you will not believe how much the Chicago Bulls jersey Michael Jordan just sold for. It is the one MJ wore in Game 1 of the 1998 NBA Finals, the culmination of a famous season known as The Last Dance. Well, someone just paid $10.1 million in a Sotheby's auction to make it theirs. That is the most money someone has ever paid for a piece of sports memorabilia that was worn in a game.
That's wild.
Insane. $10.1 million.
That's a lot of money.
Wow.
If they're a big sports fan.
And like, you gotta put it in a frame?
I know.
Is that what you
Put
do?
it in your man cave.
I mean, I'm just thinking like jewelry would have been a
$10
better
million,
investment.
a house, a beautiful house
And he
on the
sweated
water.
that jersey.
Right? How much was that Yankee Candle house?
Oh yeah, was it 30 million or something like that? I think.
that?
I don't know.
Oh wow. Vacation.
Yeah.
We are looking at some nice weather as we head into our final weekend of summer. Mid-70s outside today and tomorrow, which is pretty typical for this time of year. Overnight lows tonight into tomorrow are going to be chilly once again, but you can see the trend is upward over the course of the 7-day. Make it into the low 80s on Sunday, a bit more muggy. An overnight sprinkle possible, a couple showers possible into the early part of next week. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s.
I like your leaf graphic. It looks like it's waving.
Changes
yes,
green.
Yes.
To
Enjoy
fall.
summer.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for us for now. The news continues first at 4. Have a great day, everybody.